All right, let's jump into another deep dive. Today we're going to zoom in on Starknet,
Oh, nice.
specifically October 2024.
Okay, sounds good.
And to guide us through this, we have a newsletter from Starknet OG.
Cool.
Now, just really quickly for anyone who might be new to Starknet, think of it as like
Yeah.
Ethereum's superpowered sidekick.
Okay.
It uses some really fancy cryptography to make transactions lightning fast
Right.
and super cheap, too.
Yeah, it's kind of like taking care of that blockchain traffic jam.
Exactly.
Makes everything flow a lot smoother.
Yeah, and speaking of smooth, we got to talk about this Starknet brother meme.
Oh, absolutely. That was everywhere.
Right. It was like inescapable.
Yeah, it really took off.
It all started, I think it was Starknet had some seriously impressive performance numbers that came out.
Oh, yeah. The network was on fire.
But it seems like Ryan Sean Adams, the co-founder of Bankless,
Right.
he got so excited about the data that he maybe forgot to give Starknet its proper credit. And then Odin, Starkware's ecosystem lid, he kind of gently nudged him with a Starknet brother comment.
And, well, the internet did what the internet does.
Yeah, meme wildfire.
And even Vitalik Buterin jumped in on it, too.
Yeah, he did. That just added to the whole thing.
Of course, you can't have a crypto meme without a meme coin, right?
Oh, there it is?
The Starknet bro token. It's perfect.
Perfect. But beyond all the memes, there were some serious things happening with Starknet in October.
Oh, yeah, definitely. The Flippy Flop campaign was huge.
Yes.
Really showed off what Starknet can do.
Okay, so tell me about Flippy Flop.
We're talking a peak transaction speed of 857 transactions per second.
Okay, whoa.
It's like, imagine a whole supermarket checkout line
Yeah.
worth of transactions all happening in a single second.
Wow, that's a lot of flipping and flopping.
It is. And they didn't just hit that speed for a moment either. They maintained an average of 127 transactions per second over a whole day.
That's insane.
It's like having a highway that's always free-flowing no matter how much traffic there is.
And I know gas fees were part of this too, right?
Oh, yeah, super low. The average gas fee was just 0.000028 per transaction. We're talking fractions of a cent,
Oh,
practically giving them away.
yeah, that's wild. It seems like this really puts Starknet ahead of the game compared to other layer 2s.
For sure. It's leaving competitors like Base and Zscaler in the dust when it comes to both speed and affordability.
Okay, but it's not just about raw numbers, right? What about the user experience?
That's a big focus too, which is great to see.
I feel like that's so important for bringing more people into the crypto world.
Absolutely. They're really trying to make using Starknet as easy as using, your favorite app.
Okay, I like that. So how are they doing that?
Well, with the Flippy Flop campaign, they introduced some really interesting features, like passkeys, for example. This is a game changer for security and ease of use.
Oh, tell me more about this.
Imagine never having to write down or memorize those crazy long seed phrases again.
Oh, I would love that.
Right. With passkeys, your digital identity is secure and you can access it without needing that piece of paper.
Yeah.
That could easily get lost or stolen.
So it's like what, some kind of biometric security then?
Yeah, exactly. Like a high-tech vault for your crypto.
Okay, that does sound a lot less stressful, I'm not gonna lie.
And then there's Paymaster.
Okay, what's that?
Paymaster makes gasless transactions possible, so you don't have to worry about having ETH on hand just to pay transaction fees.
Oh, that's nice.
It's a game changer, especially for new users. Makes it so much simpler to get started on Starknet.
Yeah, that makes sense. Anything else?
Yeah. Session keys. These streamline the signing process for transactions.
Okay.
So you only need to sign in once per session. Then you can just do your transactions without having to sign in again and again.
So it's kind of like a stay logged in for crypto.
Exactly. It makes things so much faster and more secure.
Okay, I like that. So Starknet is really making it easy for everyone, new and seasoned.
For sure. They're setting a new standard for user-friendliness in the blockchain world. And, attracting users is important.
Yeah?
But attracting developers is crucial, too. You need that to build a strong ecosystem.
That's true. What does the developer situation look like?
Oh, it's booming.
Really? That's great.
We've seen a huge surge in the number of dApps and projects choosing to build on Starknet.
What's driving that, do you think? Is it the low fees, the speed, or is there something else?
I think it's a combination. The tech is amazing, but there's also this fantastic community.
Oh, cool.
And a lot of support from Starkware. People are starting to realize that Starknet is building something special. And this is reflected in the number of Cairo developers that are active, in places like GitHub.
Cool.
Cairo is the programming language specifically designed for Starknet,
Right.
and seeing so many developers embracing it is a really good sign.
So it's like Cairo's becoming the new hot language.
Yeah, exactly. But it's not just about them coming, it's about them staying.
Oh, that's interesting.
The data shows that developers are sticking around after they make their first contribution to the Starknet ecosystem.
So they're not just dabbling, they're actually committed.
Yeah, it's a strong and dedicated community. They're in it for the long haul.
That's awesome. So it sounds like Starknet is really setting itself up for a bright future.
It is. And speaking of the future, there's one big development on the horizon that has everyone buzzing: EVM compatibility.
Oh yeah, I've heard whispers about this. What is EVM compatibility?
It means Starknet will be able to work with the Ethereum virtual machine, which is what Ethereum uses.
Okay.
They're actually becoming the first dual VM validity rollup.
Okay, I gotta admit, I don't know what that means.
It means they'll support both Cairo VM, which is their own native virtual machine, and the EVM.
Ah, okay, so developers can choose which one they want to use.
Exactly. They can use Cairo, or they can use the EVM languages that they're already familiar with, like Solidity.
Ah, I see. So it opens things up for more developers.
Totally. We're talking about potentially over 20,000 EVM-focused developers who could join the Starknet ecosystem.
Wow, that's a lot of brain power.
Imagine the innovation that could come from that. And existing EVM projects can move over to Starknet easily.
Oh, that makes sense, like porting things over.
Exactly. They can benefit from all the advantages of Starknet.
Yeah, the speed, the low fees, all that.
Right. And it's not just about developers either. This also makes things easier for users.
How so?
Because now all those awesome apps and tools that are on Ethereum could potentially become available on Starknet too.
Ah, I see. So it's like expanding the options for everyone.
Precisely. And with those EVM-compatible bridges like Layer 0 and Wormhole,
Yeah.
that opens up a massive $80 billion market.
Whoa, that's a lot of potential.
It is. And this is where it gets really exciting for everyday users.
Okay, I'm listening.
Because with EVM compatibility, you'll be able to use things like MetaMask with Starknet.
Oh, really? That'd be huge.
Right. No more juggling different wallets or anything like that.
So it's like bringing Starknet into the mainstream.
Exactly. It's all about making blockchain technology more accessible and user-friendly for everyone.
I love it. It sounds like Starknet is really breaking down barriers and building bridges.
That's a great way to put it.
All right, welcome back to our Starknet deep dive.
Part 2.
We've covered a lot, but now we got to explore the ecosystem itself.
Yeah, it's really booming right now.
Okay, so where do we even begin with that?
Well, DeFi is always a good place to start.
Okay, yeah, DeFi.
That's where a lot of the action is.
So what's happening in the Starknet DeFi scene these days?
Let's see. Well, Pendle strategies on Nomura are back up and running.
Okay.
Those let yield farmers maximize their returns on Nomura.
So back in business.
Exactly. And then there's Opus.
Ocus.
Yeah, they're a new player. They've joined the DeFi Spring campaign.
Oh, okay.
And they've brought along Starknet's first native stablecoin, CSH.
Interesting. A native stablecoin, huh?
Yep. Imagine a stablecoin specifically designed for the Starknet ecosystem. Seamless integration, low-cost transactions, all that.
And it's part of DeFi Spring.
Yeah, so
Yep.
users can earn incentives by borrowing PDES.
I see. That makes sense.
It's a really smart move.
Okay, cool. Anything else happening on the DeFi front?
Oh, yeah. How could I forget Starknet Quest?
Starknet Quest, what's that?
This is huge for DeFi Spring participants.
Okay.
It's a new feature that lets them claim all their rewards through one simple interface.
So no more jumping around between platforms?
Nope. It's all streamlined now.
That's awesome. Which platforms are supported?
Right now, it's Nostra, Suckland, Nimbora, and Ikubo.
Okay.
But I'm sure they'll add more as the ecosystem grows.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It's all about making DeFi on Starknet as user-friendly as possible.
Love it. So DeFi is hot, but what else is happening?
Well, the Alpha Zone is where a lot of the cutting-edge stuff is happening.
Alpha Zone.
Think of it like a testing ground for new projects.
Oh.
They can experiment and get things right before they launch on the mainnet.
So it's like an incubator.
Yeah, exactly. And a couple projects just graduated from the Alpha Zone to the main bat.
Oh, cool. Which ones?
Layer, Akira, and Kepler. Remember we talked about them earlier?
Yeah, the Celebi DX and the Cosmos wallet.
Yep. It's great to see them go live.
Definitely. So what's brewing in the Alpha Zone now?
A few interesting things. SiteBet, Lendasat, and Kakarot ZKEVM.
Okay, those are some new names.
SiteBet is a prediction market platform,
Oh, cool.
so you can bet on the outcome of future events.
Sounds fun.
And then there's Lendasat.
Okay, what's that one about?
This one enables Bitcoin-backed loans on Starknet.
Whoa, interesting.
Yeah, so you can use your Bitcoin as collateral to borrow other assets.
That's a pretty powerful concept.
It is. And of course, there's Kakarot ZKEVM, which we've talked about already.
Yeah, the EVM compatibility.
Still in the alpha zone, but getting ready for prime time.
Can't wait to see what that does for the ecosystem.
It's going to be huge.
Okay, so we got DeFi, we've got the alpha zone. What about gaming?
Oh, yeah. There's a lot happening in the gaming world, too.
Okay, I'm all ears. Tell me about some of these games.
Well, Happy Farmville and P-Dash are two that are making a splash.
All right, I'm intrigued. What are they like?
Happy Farmville is a farming simulator.
Classic.
Yeah, you can grow crops, raise livestock, build your own farm, all that.
Sounds pretty chill.
And then P-Dash is a racing game.
Oh, cool.
You collect and customize cars, race against other players, earn rewards.
Okay, so like a blockchain-powered Need for Speed or something.
Exactly.
Hmm.
But with real ownership and the potential to earn crypto.
I like it. Any other interesting games out there?
Yeah, there's Tweedle HQ. It's a gaming project built on Telegram.
Wait, on Telegram?
Yeah. You can play games and interact with Starknet right within the app.
That's pretty clever. Reach a whole new audience that way.
Exactly. And then there's a blockchain version of Metal Slug in the works.
No way, Metal Slug.
Yeah. That classic arcade game.
Man, that brings back memories.
It's getting a whole blockchain makeover on Starknet.
Wow, so many different types of games popping up.
It's a really exciting time for gaming on Starknet.
I bet. Okay, but what about beyond gaming?
Well, there are tools to help people navigate the DeFi world.
Okay, like what?
There's this project called the Future DeFi.
The future DeFi.
Yeah, it's a portfolio management tool specifically for the Starknet ecosystem.
Oh.
Gives you an overview of your DeFi positions, tracks your performance, helps you manage your assets.
That's pretty handy.
Especially with so many different projects and protocols out there.
Yeah, it's easy to get lost.
So a tool like this can be really valuable.
I can see that. So it sounds like Starknet is attracting a lot of builders and innovators.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
People who really believe in the potential of this tech.
Absolutely. And that energy is contagious.
Yeah, I can feel it. So I'm curious, what about Starknet OG? What have they been up to in the ecosystem?
Well, they've been pretty active.
Okay, what kind of stuff?
Investing, participating in DeFi, all that.
Any specific tokens they're excited about?
They've mentioned holding on to their Ikubo tokens. They seem to believe in the project's long-term potential.
Patience is key in crypto, right?
Definitely. They're also still bullish on Slink.
Slink, yeah, I've heard that name.
It's that decentralized social network project.
Right, right.
And of course, they've got some meme coins in their portfolio, too.
Oh, of course. Which ones?
Donkey and Starknet Brother, naturally.
Donkey? I haven't heard of that one.
That one came out of the Eternum game.
Oh, I see. A community meme coin.
Yep. Gotta love that.
Definitely. So besides tokens, what else are they doing?
They're pretty active in DeFi.
Okay, what platforms?
They're providing liquidity on Carmine, for one.
Okay.
Getting some nice yields there, between 30% and 40% on their STRK tokens.
Wow, that's pretty good.
And they're diversifying, too.
Makes sense. Don't put all your eggs in one basket.
Exactly. They've got ETH and DAI on Nimbra, USDC on Visu, and STRK Farm.
Really spreading things around.
It's a smart strategy.
Definitely. Okay, so we've seen what Starknet OG is up to. What other insights did they share in their newsletter?
Well, they highlighted some really interesting articles and content from October.
Oh, like what?
One article went deep into the technical details of the Bolt upgrade.
Oh, right. We talked about that briefly earlier.
Yeah, this one really explained how it all works.
So what were the key innovations there?
They introduced parallel execution of transactions
Okay.
and block packing on the mainnet.
And that led to the big performance boost.
Exactly. Starknet can now handle over 500 transactions per second,
Wow.
with gas fees around 0.002 DUS.
That's incredible.
Most transactions only take about 2 seconds to go through.
Seriously impressive.
It's a whole new level of performance for blockchain.
Yeah, no kidding. Any other content they recommended?
Yeah, they pointed to a really comprehensive article about Starknet in general.
Oh, cool. Like an overview of the whole project.
Exactly. It covers the vision, the guiding principles, everything.
Sounds like required reading for any Starknet enthusiast.
Definitely. And they also recommended checking out an AMA with Eli Ben Sasson,
The CEO of Starkware.
Yep. He talked about his vision for the future of Starknet.
Always interesting to hear from the people leading the charge.
Absolutely.
Okay, anything else?
Well, they also shared a bunch of those Starknet bull posts we were talking about.
Oh yeah, the ones about how Starknet is going to take over the world.
Well, maybe not take over the world, but definitely become a major force.
Fair enough. What were some of the key themes from those posts?
A lot of them focused on the stuff we've already discussed.
Okay, so the performance, the ecosystem growth, the EVM compatibility.
Exactly. It's clear that there's a lot of excitement and optimism around Starknet.
Yeah, I can definitely feel it. And to top it all off, they included an infographic, right?
Yep. It's a great visual summary of what makes Starknet so special.
So it hits on the scalability, the security, the decentralization.
All of that in a really clear and concise way.
Love it. Okay, so we've covered a ton of ground in this part of our deep dive.
We have DeFi, Alpha Zone, gaming, all sorts of cool stuff.
And it's not over yet. There are a couple more interesting things from the newsletter that I want to touch on.
Okay, what else have you got?
Well, there's some really thought-provoking perspectives on Starknet's position in the market and its potential for the future.
Oh, that sounds interesting.
Yeah, one bull post in particular really caught my eye. It argues that Starknet is actually in a really strong position right now,
That's an intriguing take.
even though it might not be obvious to everyone.
I'm curious to hear more about that.
Okay, so back to this bull post that argues Starknet's actually in a great spot right now.
Yeah, kind of hidden strength, huh?
Right, like under the radar.
So what makes them so strong?
It seems like it's all about playing the long game.
Okay.
They've been focusing on building a solid foundation,
Makes sense.
really strong tech, a dedicated developer community,
Yeah.
instead of just chasing hype.
It's like they're laying the groundwork for something really big.
Exactly. And there's another post that kind of paints a picture of where the Starknet ecosystem is headed.
Okay, I like a good roadmap. What's it say?
Well, it touches on all the big things we've been talking about.
Yeah.
Those impressive performance numbers, the growing ecosystem,
Right.
and of course that EVM compatibility that's coming.
Things all coming together.
Yeah, it really feels like it. And I think to really drive home these key points,
Yeah.
the newsletter includes this awesome infographic.
Infographics are the best.
Right. They make everything so much easier to grasp.
Exactly. So what does this one highlight?
Well, it really focuses on what makes Starknet unique.
Oh,
The scalability, the security, the commitment to decentralization.
the core strengths.
Yeah, exactly. So after this deep dive into Starknet's October,
Yeah.
where do we stand? What's the big takeaway?
Well, I think it's clear that October was a month of huge progress for Starknet.
Definitely.
We saw technological advancements, the ecosystem is growing,
Yeah.
and there's just this overall sense of excitement about what's coming next.
It's like they're building the rocket ship while they're already flying it,
That's a great way to put it. They're not afraid to push the boundaries.
Yeah, they're just going for it. And I think the most exciting thing is we're still early.
Oh, absolutely. We're just getting started.
As Starknet grows and matures, who knows what we'll see.
The potential is incredible.
Yeah. So one final question for you and for all our listeners.
Okay, sure.
What role do you think Starknet will ultimately play in the whole blockchain universe?
That's the big question, isn't it?
It is.
Well, I think Starknet has everything it needs to become a major player.
Yeah.
They're focused on the right things, they've got a great community,
Yeah.
and they're constantly innovating.
It's like they're building a bridge to a future
Okay.
where blockchain is just a normal part of our lives,
I like that.
powering everything.
Yeah, the possibilities are endless at this point.
Definitely. Well, that about wraps up our Starknet October deep dive.
That was fun.
Yeah, it was a good one. And to everyone listening, if you're feeling inspired,
Yeah,
go explore Starknet for yourself.
absolutely.
We'll include links to everything we talked about in the show notes.
All the resources, the newsletter, everything.
All of it. So until next time, happy exploring.